The spotlight on problems with racial climate at Boston Latin has prompted a closer look at the whole school system. That's the background for a dialogue and presentation on race, gender, and education inequities. Organized by students at Freedom House, the session will take place on Tuesday, August 9th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Roxbury Innovation Center in the Bowling Building near Dudley Square. Joining us are two of the students from Freedom House, Jayla Belcher and Elijah Guillomaitre. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you.
I want to start with hearing both of you talk about why you got involved with Freedom House. I want to start with you, Elijah, the kind of a program that's going on there and why you wanted to be part of it.
Freedom House came to me as a cohort in my school at Snowden, and my leader over there, his name Mr. Carwell, he introduced me to Freedom House and got me interested because Freedom House is a community activist group, so basically based on improving the community in the Dorchester and Roxbury area, and I felt like there was a need for me to get back to my community, so that's why I joined Freedom House.
Jay, what brought you to Freedom House?
I actually was going through the Success Link, and I was looking at different programs, and I want to be an entrepreneur in advertisement for my future, so I was looking at programs that had to do with the community and business-wise, and this was one of the programs that had a very good outlook.
Okay. Elijah, this is a summit that's going to be looking at 4 different topics. You're going to have racism, gender, inequality, adultism, and also something about the lack of after-school opportunities. But of all those 4, which one are you most concerned about right now?
I'm most concerned with adultism right now.
Now explain for us adults and people your own age, what is adultism exactly?
The definition of adultism is adults disempowering young people and basically not letting them have their own voice in saying things in their community and their schools. So I could give an example, like while Boston Public Schools having budget cuts, there was no student had a say in how the budget cuts will happen or how it would go through. No one had a say in it except the adults. And that's why we had all these protests, because we wanted to have a say in it. So adultism is for us to bring up the idea that young people need to have the voice in our communities, in our schools.
Jay, what about your concern? Which of those 4?
Mine is mostly based on racism. And I think we all have a very good outlook on what it is. But for us, more as the students, it's focused on just in general, like how we're presented and going to different places. When we're in groups of people, everyone automatically thinks that we're some type of kids or we're going to do something that we're not going to do. So it's more of like just being judged on the way we look and how we are from other people making bad influences on us.
We're talking with Jayla Belcher and Elijah Guillomaitre from Freedom House. Elijah, what about you in your experience? Did you have any of those problems with racism that Jayla just described?
Yes, that sometimes people stereotype because of your color or because of how you dress and everything, so that it happens to everyone, and it happened to me, especially in middle school, where I got stereotyped because of how I dressed and everything. And it impacted me a lot, because once you feel like that somebody's being stereotyping you, you end up trying to change yourself to be the norm that they believe. And so that we want to make sure that stereotypes and racism, that we don't want you to change yourself because of stereotypes. We want you to be who you are, not because of your color, not because of how you dress. We just want you to be who you are and believe in what you believe in.
It's sad to hear that, because a stereotype is not something you'd be proud to be.
No.
Right. Jay, what about you? I mean, do you get some of that yourself? You know, even just going back and forth from school and.
I mean, I haven't really been a person of racism, but I have had a lot of my friends that I've been with who have went through it, and I've been like an outlook and observed on it. And most of it has been like, it can be a group of 5 of us, and it'll be like some girls and some boys. We'll walk into a store, we're going to go shopping, we just got paid, it's payday. So we're going to go and buy some new stuff. And then we walk in and security's right behind us. And we're like, are we serious? Like, you can't walk into a store without you automatically thinking we're going to steal something when we have money. And then it's like, people get upset, and then we like someone might say something, and then the adult automatically thinks that we're being disrespectful, but it's like we came here for a reason, and you're automatically judging us or thinking we're going to do something. So of course it's going to be an outcome, and someone's going to get upset, and then it leads to stuff that should never happen in the first place.
Well, I also want to ask you about after-school opportunities. I hear about kids in the suburbs who have some great stuff that even I didn't have when I was growing up. But what about the students in Boston that you know?
In Boston Public Schools,
Right.
We don't have as much extracurriculars as usual. I've heard stories about having clubs and everything, but right now there's barely any clubs at school. If there's sports, it's usually those three main sports: baseball, basketball, and football. And as a student, I feel like needs to be a chance for a student to express their voice, and that chance could be an extracurricular activities after school, and that schools don't offer that. My school, we had like clubs and everything, but we had it only 3 times in the school year, and I don't feel like it gave us an understanding of what extracurricular activities were and how we can express our voice. And that extracurricular activities we needed. We need math clubs, we need debate clubs, we need student body governments, we need all these things in order for our voice to be heard.
We're talking with Elijah Guillomaitre and Jayla Belcher from Freedom House. Jayla, you know there are things that students want to see make things better in the schools, and you're going to have this summit. So what happens after that? What are you going to do to make things better?
Well, for the summit, for example, that's one of our main starts to making things better, is getting adults and kids involved and knowing that we can do stuff if we do it the right way. So that's what we're trying to show people, is how to do it, the ways to do it. These are the problems and why these are the problems and how we can solve them. So we want to start little by little to first just get people educated on knowing what to do. And then after that, we're going to keep on doing this to multiple people and to get more adults involved who can actually help us make bigger improvements.
Elijah, talk about the plans for the summit, because this is for, I guess, any students in the city, maybe some adults concerned about the schools too?
The way our summit is set up, we have it a chalk talk style. So on the walls of the building we have is dry erase walls, so we can write on them. And we're gonna write each topic on the wall. And we're just gonna step back and give a chance for everybody to write near the words, and for them to write what they believe when they see the word adultism. What do they think about adultism? How does adultism affect them? So we're gonna have that kind of style, and then after that we're gonna have a group discussion where it's not just the MC speaking. We're gonna have everybody speaking. We're having like a popcorn style type of thing where you can just pop up, say what you believe in, and just have a discussion about why these are a problem, what can we do to improve these problems, basically to get an input of everybody's mindset.
And Jayla, this is, again, at what time on August 9th?
It's 2 to 4.
At the Roxbury Innovation Center. I'd like to thank you both very much, Jayla Belcher and Elijah Guillomaitre from Freedom House. In a moment, we'll hear about an exhibit by emerging artists in Dorchester, but first, this message.